Nice. I see the line. All right.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to another Thinking Out Loud. I've got a very special guest here. Of course, you all remember Rick. Thank you for coming back, Rick. It's nice to see you again. It's always good to see him.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Of course, obviously, it is the holidays. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Christmas.
We're entering that stretch where it's like Thanksgiving. We just had Halloween. So it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever you guys celebrate, and then New Year's.
Oh shit, I forgot about New Year's.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the past 3 New Years have just felt like the year just kept going.
I mean, once the pandemic, it was
what
like,
happened. Yeah. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I kind of want things to go back to normal, even though I was not doing normal things. Because like all of a sudden I want to go out, but the whole fucking country decides to shut down. And then...
Excuse him. I'm professional. Go ahead.
And I told the story about how we went to the bar last time and then let me in because I didn't have my vaccine card.
Oh, that's right.
That was really ridiculous.
They are cracking down.
They're cracking down so much that it almost seems a little ass backwards. You know, you want to go out, have a nice time, and everybody's kind of like, you can hear people talk about it in line. They're like,
California's not having any of that. It
is not having any of it.
No.
Yeah.
I just got here yesterday, and when I was told that, like, oh, there's a mandate, and I'm all, not that you guys need to know, but I'm all vaccinated. I'm all
it's a free country. Out. You don't have to explain.
Yeah, I don't have to explain. But I was like, I forgot mine because in other states you don't have to to prove that you've gotten
vax.
Yeah, so when I got here, I was like, California must be like, they are shutting down fun.
I want them to give me whatever they're giving the homeless. Because clearly the homeless can do whatever they want. They can choose to live and stay wherever they want.
I think they're a different type of citizen, to be honest here.
Yeah, they're like citizens. They're like, I don't want to say something. They're like cockroaches because they kind of just stick around. They don't really do anything. Do cockroaches like do anything other than look nasty? I'm not saying that.
I'm trying to, I don't know their hobbies. I don't know exactly what they're into.
You know, every time I go to the In-N-Out in my neighborhood, you know, I'm surrounded by homeless what do they call it? The disenfranchised? No, that's not the right word. Is it not? Oh no, it's it's like non-homed or something. Not homed. The not housed.
I know there's a politically correct way to say it.
Yeah. It's a very one like word thing. But yeah, no, and
I just call them the unlucky.
The unlucky, yeah. Well, the chosen ones. The ones that chose, because they chose. Some of them choose.
Not all of them, but
not all of them. Like this lady that owns this Jeep next to the In-N-Out, I'm kind of like, the Jeep lady.
Right, yeah,
she's got a really nice car with like the black and yellow tags. I mean, the black and yellow license plates. And I'm like, damn, like she must have fallen in really hard times. And then I heard her talk, and I'm like, oh, she's just a little slow. Like she probably had a hard time integrating into society, right? Because like when you're a little...
Where do you think she got the Jeep from? You think it was a gift?
You know what? There are a lot of things that these people get that I have no idea how they get their hands on. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Some of these fucking... I'm like over here disrespecting the shit out of them and stuff.
I know.
I'm like, no, they're like...
Once you start using these people...
No, because it's a different thing. Because like in Cali, it's hot. It's warm. You're not going to freeze. You're not going to freeze to death out here. You go to the Midwest, you're going to freeze to death. You know,
I'm surprised. It's November and it's like 80.
Yeah, it's hot. It is hot. And in the fucking spirit of November, like, it's, Thanksgiving is a time for being grateful, you know?
Giving thanks,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more in the receiving category.
People thank you a lot.
Yeah, they thank me a lot. No, I don't. Do you have anything you're thankful for? Like, you can go first because I have a long list.
Put me on the spot. I have a very short list.
I was gonna say things I don't care for.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I don't care for. No, I mean just I guess being.
You can be honest. To be honest,
still?
That's true. Like if it's just you and your mother that you're thankful for.
I am very thankful for my mother all the time. And I think that's like the friends obviously. Like the 5 that I have,
which is like normal for an adult.
I think so. I didn't. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, as the years go by, it's a smaller and smaller group. But I think that's with maturity. I think, you just get the people that you're like, yeah, they're kind of toxic out of the way. And then you end up with just like a small group.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, an influencer.
Yeah, true. Because yeah, this makes... I already have this anxiety about being around a lot of people. And let alone a lot of people that would recognize me. So...
And the older you get, it's kind of harder to like... Not harder, but like... It's just like, oh, there's so much time that goes into like building
a relationship.
Where it's like... You're more picky, I think, of like... I don't have time for you.
Do you know what? That's funny. Yeah. And I hate that because everybody who comes to California or Los Angeles, they're always like, oh, the people over there, you hit them up once and then you never hear from them again. And that's not the case, people. Like, nobody walks in LA. It takes forever to get from one point to another. And
it does take forever. Yeah. I mean, now that, people are back. I mean, the freeways are packed.
And on top of that, everybody is on edge. Nobody wants to talk to anybody. Anytime you get together with friends for your Friendsgiving, anything on everyone's mind is like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to be over so I can just go home,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm grateful for like being around, same thing, friends and family. Very easy answer. But there are a lot of other things that I'm really grateful for, like the fact that I have hot running water and clean water to some certain extent. That's nice. Those are like real things to be grateful for.
The time that your boiler, was it the boiler room?
Yes.
That had,
it flooded?
I know, yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, and now they installed a new one. So I've got like this white noise coming through because I sleep next to the boiler room.
Yeah.
And they put a brand new boiler in there. And I just hear it turn on and off, click and rumble.
Which is why we had to move studios.
Yes.
And I was thinking a loud studio here because
and it's annoying because like I live next to not to the main street, but to like the neighborhood street.
Oh yeah.
And if you go back and watch our earlier episodes, it's people are walking by. It's sometimes I'm afraid.
There's construction going on right now.
There's some construction going on, street cleaning. Sometimes I was afraid of getting shot in a drive-by.
Yeah, I mean, it is low. It is you're essentially right on the street. You open your door, you're on the street.
I have like not nightmares. It's kind of like paranoia that like someone's gonna throw something through my patio window and it's just gonna land in my fucking living room. It's fucking annoying.
That's why I never understood people that lived on live on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's for something. It's very convenient.
Yeah, I'd hate to walk up 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah, but for me, I want to be high. I don't want to be. That's easy access right there.
Is it weird that like I have a fear of like living high up?
No,
because emergencies, hauling things up. Am I just thinking about it too much?
Hauling things up is especially if there's no
lift.
There's not a lift or just elevators in general. You're That's. I used to live in it was almost like a townhouse, but we lived on the second one,
mm-hmm.
and I helped my friend just like you, gun enthusiast. So he bought a safe for all his guns.
Oosh.
It said it was like, I don't know, 200 something pounds. So we were like, between us two, we can carry that thing up. That's no problem. It felt like 1,000 pounds, and there's no elevators in those, so you just had like flight of stairs, and he was on the top one. So then we were like, because then once we got in there, like I said, the apartment's like a townhouse, so it's 2-story. So then he's like, I had to put it in the bedroom, which is upstairs. I mean, that's when I was like, I was living in the same type of complex, and I was like, no, I'm moving to a place that has an elevator. I was like, I don't care if I'm pampered. I was like, I cannot continue. That's the second time is also when I got movers. I hired movers because the first time I moved everything. And I was like, fuck this. It is a lot.
That's hilarious, yeah, because like, God damn it. Like, I helped Nick move into this complex. Jesus fucking Christ. You would think that they would have some like lift dedicated for people to lift their furniture, because in a building like this,
because usually they have like a freight.
A freight, right? Yeah. Freight, right? I said lift, but I think a lift is much smaller than a freight.
Yeah.
Fucking, you would think that they'd have a freight or something for residents because of the complex being so large. Dude, we got stuck with his couch hauling it up the stairs He lives on the 5th floor, guys. We couldn't get it into the elevator because it just wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
And if we did, we were like, okay, we're gonna damage it, and we're gonna make too much of a mess. It was like fucking 4 of us trying to get this couch up. It was like the length of this pool table, right? Oh, it's actually a little bit longer, right? Because you've seen it. We've sat on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
If it's like 4 people, yeah. Like if you switch people in, you can fit 5.
Yeah, and if it's like small people, you could fit like a solid group of people on that chair, on that couch. And I'm telling Nick, I'm like, bro, I don't think we're going to get this up because it's heavy and we can barely fit it through the stairwell. We got to the 4th floor. And I think we gave up before we were just like, you know what? Let's just haul it.
I know, you're on the 4th floor. I mean, you gotta go.
We dragged it through the fucking doorways because we had to, do the maneuver where you're like up, turn,
it's the pivots.
It's the pivots,
yes.
Yeah. We had to do the whole spiel. I fucking Yeah, I help everybody move, but the act of moving is truly not my cup of tea. Same thing with the act of traveling. I hate traveling.
Yeah, it's not the destination. It's the
journey.
It's the airport.
Oh, yeah.
It's the getting to the airport. Then you got to be hours early, and then dealing with bags, dealing with people, security checks, all that stuff is just so annoying to go through.
Yeah, and talking about holiday travel, there's so many people who don't enjoy spending time with the family.
That's true.
I don't personally have any tales of having extreme family gatherings or whatever. I can't think of a time where I didn't spend it outside of home. As I've gotten older now, I do spend it outside of the home. But before there was this magical sense of oh, there's something to do because it's the holidays. And as I get older, I'm like, there's nothing to do. I'm like, where are you going to go? We're going to go out to a bar? We're going to go have family dinner? We're going to just say thanks, have a Friendsgiving? It's like, no, what are we doing?
Very pessimistic.
I know, right? I'm like, what are we doing? No, you know what? We didn't have a Friendsgiving this year. We normally have one, right? At my place.
Oh, we didn't have one, yeah.
We had one a couple times before that, one at Jen's, yours, and mine.
Well, I thought I was like, oh, you're going to be here, so we'll be able to plan one out. And then he tells me, no, I'm leaving, which is great because he planned it out perfectly.
I know, right?
He comes back the day I leave, or the day after I leave. So
yeah, and it's fun because we only know 5 people.
I know, that's why it's always fun, nice,
yeah.
And you can play games easier and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
true. Yeah,
not to sound all sad.
Yeah, and my place is super small, and before
I know, yeah.
So it's whatever. I mean, it's not that bad, but relatively speaking, I enjoy the holidays. I think it's my favorite time of the year. Whose isn't? Probably people who don't have a family.
Yeah, people that are a little unfortunate,
yeah.
Or people that I was just talking to a colleague of mine about. Her birthday falls on Christmas.
Oh.
Right? So they always forget about
Let's talk
her
about
birthday because they worry about Christmas.
Yeah, what's up with people's birthdays and holidays?
Those are tough though, because so my birthday is right around Christmas.
True.
It's I don't know, 8 days before. So I've always gotten not like I grew up with a whole bunch of getting gifts and stuff, but it is one of those things that as people are like, oh, I'll just get you one for both. It's I had a special date.
We can talk about that. Yeah, we can talk about shitty gift giving.
Oh,
because on top of that, people who have their birthdays next to holidays, I love just my fucking retarded ass head likes to think about when you were conceived. It's if you were born in December.
Oh, you were born.
I just did a 9-month thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what the fuck was happening? I'm like, what did it? What spurred the moment for you to be created?
I guess mine would be spring, maybe.
Spring.
Because it'd be sometime in March.
Yeah. It's always funny to me when I ask people who aren't planned, as children. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, I wasn't. I was a mistake. Not a mistake. I'm sorry. A fucking accident or whatever. People who get pregnant.
I was like, what's the difference between a mistake and an accident? No,
I'm glad my birthday doesn't land anywhere near a special holiday. Easter, St. Patrick's Day, nobody We don't really celebrate that.
No, not really. Yeah, I was trying to think, but I don't think.
I know somebody whose birthday lands on April Fools. Like that for me is always funny. It's like, oh, it's like,
I know someone is a leap year.
Oh, that's
right?
cool.
So the 29th of February?
That's funny. Ever since you told me about Modern Family, that the father has a leap year birthday, I always wondered how that works. Like, I mean, if, for example, like you get a discount on your birthday, and the coupon says, oh, you have to come in on your birthday to use the coupon, but the year that you get the coupon, it just doesn't happen to be a leap year, so you can't use it. Like, that would be funny.
That sucks.
Right? Because the company would be like, oh, we printed it for the 29th, but there's no 29th on of the coupon year that we gave you.
You can't give coupons. Anybody, first of all,
that would be funny.
Because it's a good thing that you brought up, or interesting thing that you brought up about gift giving.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Anybody who gives coupons as a birthday present is ridiculous.
What kind of coupons?
Any kind of coupons. Maybe if it's specialized towards.
I know what you're gonna say. Like, yeah, that's why I said what kind, because.
Yeah, because I mean, but like, I'm not a big fan of like gift cards, and like coupons and stuff like that. Like, I like a gift to be personalized. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes a gift card is like, you happen to be at Target and you're like, oh, that's right, somebody's birthday, and you grab it, and it's like that's what I think the amount of effort that you put into getting me a gift if you give me a gift card.
It sucks because I want to be a better gift giver, but
all of my I forgot that you were the one that gave gift cards, and I was just like, well, David feels a certain way about it. So.
No, I thought that most appropriate thing to do is to get people gift cards when they can decide to buy things.
You didn't even try, I think, to even do like, you know how they have like characters or like designs. You gave the same factory setting gift cards, and you were just like, 1, 2, 3, here you go.
I gotta fucking be honest. It's like, I cannot, like, I want to fathom the idea of giving people stuff, but all of my closest friends have everything they could ever want. Like, it's hard to give.
That's why it's the personalized, even if it doesn't cost. Because like, a lot of people are like, oh, I have to like get something expensive. It's like, no, yeah. Like, if it's something just personalized, that's like, it
means more.
It means more because you thought about it. Come on, get it together.
Yeah, no, I just think to myself, like, why can't I be more fucking, sensitive to gift giving versus like trying to figure out exactly what they might want to make them happy. I wish like it came more naturally to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not a woman, so I don't really understand, the idea of wanting to love someone unconditionally for the sake of loving them,
Because a man is not
man is not capable of loving. We like you, women. We don't love you.
To understand.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. And yeah, no, I want to give people better gifts. Like with my mom and my sister, it's easy because it's like, I'll just get them something expensive, because it's easier that way. It's easier that way because then they don't have to question the idea of.
But I also kind of hate people that are like, if it's not expensive.
I hate people who receive gifts and they're like, oh, this is not what I wanted.
Oh yeah, I mean, those are just trash people.
You know what?
The fact that somebody's getting you a gift.
When you evolve to the point in your relationship where your significant other just says, what do you want, girl or boy? Let me just pick it out. Just go, here's a magazine, look at it. I remember one time, Jen, we went with her to go pick up some jewelry, or she wanted to look at some jewelry. And her man was like, oh, here, look, just pick from the catalog. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Because, like, you don't want to guess what your significant other wants because then you might actually fuck it up. When it's usually like, you want to get to that point. For me also, I want to get to the point where, like, I can just be like, I can walk over to my significant other. Well, you know what? Let me backtrack a little before I like walk myself into a trap. What I was gonna say was like,
I was following you.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, yeah, it must be really nice when you've been with somebody for a long time, and then you get them something without them having to tell you, and it's exactly what they wanted.
Because people be dropping hints. It's not like people don't be saying what they like.
Yeah, and when you're with someone and they're dropping hints and you're acting slow, it's kind of like, okay, then you deserve, whatever bad energy you're gonna get from your girl for not having followed through with like the idea that, oh, she wants this cell phone, not an iPhone. You know, don't get her an iPhone. She wanted the cell phone. You know, it's not the same. You know, I don't really get offended when people give me gifts I don't like, because I don't think I've received a gift I don't like.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, you had to.
Yeah, I think. You know what?
I was trying to think what I was like.
Because
what's a bad
and that's how this. That's where I was getting at. It's like most of the time people ask me, or I will tell them, so that there's no confusion. Because you don't. That's why it's like if you get to that point where you tell somebody like, hey, can you just like this is what I want. Like don't waste your time trying to put together something elaborate. You know, I think that's fine that you go out of your way to get someone a gift that you're like, hey, I want to show them that I care. You know, you write a letter, you put together a little.
People don't be writing letters anymore.
You know what? I want to write a letter, like I want to sit down and write one, but I feel like I'm just gonna write a bunch of nothing. You know, I feel like I'm gonna sit down and write a bunch of nothing. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna just be like, oh damn, this is really great, and then by the time I get to like the fifth sentence, I'm like,
I feel like I think actually you're right. I think if David were to write a letter, it's exactly like this podcast is you would start somewhere and then you end somewhere completely different.
Yeah, because I'm fucking mentally, you know, disabled. So like, I have to.
Couldn't even get that out.
Yeah, I have to walk back to where I wrote to what I wrote so that I continue my thought. Yeah,
I know. I'd be writing because we do a lot of. We've gotten into it. Our team has gotten a lot into doing like cards for people for like their birthday or if they, you know, somebody got promoted or something.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd be writing on my notepad like versions. I was like, I don't want to be that one because you know what everybody does? Everybody gets those like the cards when it's their turn and they be reading everybody else's.
Wait, which? Oh, when they
like like if we were gonna give you a card, right? And I would pass it through everybody, all the guys, all the girls. But if I get it, I'm like, what did they write? What did they write? Yeah. Because one, you don't want to write the same thing. It's true. It's not the whole yearbook, like, see you next summer. Like, you can't. You have to write something kind of, like, meaningful.
That's so cute, you know, that, you know, people get together and they're like, oh, let's all sign this thing, you know, to show solidarity. I hate doing that. I don't know what to fucking write. Like, I'm just going to sign it. I was here, you know? I swear, like, I had nothing, like, to make
David
me feel
was
bad.
Here.
Yeah, like, I'm like, oh, I hope you get better. And it's like, no, I don't. Like,
no, I don't.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's cool. Okay, like, it's kind of like giving everybody a trophy. Oh, you know what? No, stop. Yeah, stop. Because, you know what? Because, like, because you can be, because, you know, during the holidays, you want everybody to get something a little bit, you know, you don't want everybody to feel like everybody cares just for that one time a year, you know, because like as soon as it's over, it's like, you know, let's get back to, you know, 9 to 5 every day. Because like you want to write something nice in there, but you look at everyone else's and then you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, is this too intimate?
That's the other part.
Is it not intimate enough?
What kind of like what level are we at?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, because I recently went to a funeral and I wrote like a note. I didn't know them very well, but I knew them enough. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'll just write something as if we had known each other like a long time. And I thought, and I think that's kind of where like I stand, you know, I'll write something. It's kind of like signing a yearbook, you know?
Oh, yeah. And
that's going to get thrown away like in a week.
I have a yearbook. I still have my yearbook.
Not the, you know what? I don't know where mine is. I think it's at my mom's. But
it is crazy because I remember getting some yearbooks and I was like, I don't know this person like that. Like,
no, I remember it being a contest, right?
Because it was like, who can do the most? And it's like, I don't
people be like, oh, I'm going to buy another 3 blank pages in my yearbook because I'm going to fill them out, motherfucker. People be like drawing and shit like half the page, like, oh, I will miss you. I'll see you in.
I also do be hating that in cards. Or anything that, like, when people be writing, like, a lot of people be writing, and somebody gets like, prime real estate, and they take up, like, a huge chunk, and then, like, it'll be, like, almost in the center, so, like, you can't even go around, so you're like, now I have to fucking figure out where I'm gonna be at.
I do miss the Valentine's cards. You know, the ones that you could, if you remember,
they with the candy, and then
you tore them, and they close, like, the little square ones. Those, come on, guys, like, those were awesome. Like, if they had something like that for Thanksgiving and Christmas, where like
just a little card.
Yeah, because I remember during class everybody would get one, and I remember always feeling like, oh, I hope someone personally hands me one.
It's the Valentine like grams.
Yeah. Oh.
Right, they would come around. And
you could buy one at the lunch office. Yo, those were, bro. Thinking back as an adult, like the little stuff. That seems kind of cool. Like
it's the little stuff.
Like your girl really, comes to class first thing in the morning. They're like over the speaker, like, oh, this is a dedicated, this is dedicated to the one I love or whatever. It's a song, by the way. Yeah, that just sounds so beautiful. Like it'd be nice, you get to school on Thanksgiving in the morning. They're like, oh, David Juarez is thankful for yada yada yada. That'd be cool. But they don't do that anymore.
I don't think they ever did that though. The Thanksgiving part.
Oh, no. Actually, I thought they did that for Christmas. They would do like a thing where they had like a secret Santa. And
oh, yeah.
And they would raffle things off or whatever for like a certain amount of people. That was fun. Damn, see, the holidays just don't feel the same anymore as you get older. Like, because we don't have kids. We're like in the middle of our,
If you say life.
No, I was going to say
like.
we're in the middle of like contemplating whether or not we should just end ourselves and stuff. Like at that stage in life, we're in the middle. We're in that stage in life where it's like, oh, things could go really well, or things could just,
What is that guy in that meme that's like sometimes very good, sometimes I'm shit. Like
it's sometimes it's like that, and
it should be like that though.
And all I ever hear is like, there's not going to be enough stuff on the shelves for Christmas, not enough turkey. Turkey's a little more expensive. Oh, fuck, turkey is like $7 a gallon right now.
A gallon?
I know, it was a joke because gasoline in fucking California is like $5, $6 a gallon.
That every single time, I don't get used to that. Every single time I land, I'm just like,
not even.
Why is this so expensive?
It's not even funny because you look at other places in the country where the national average is like $2.30 or something.
Yeah.
That seems expensive to me. So I look at $5. I'm like, that's not expensive. Because I've seen it be much cheaper. So I look at $5. I'm like, oh, it's $5 today. It's like this is copium. Like what is it when you've come to terms with your abuser?
I don't know.
With Stockholm syndrome or something. I think it's like, I've just come to terms that like living in Los Angeles, like they don't care about, the unhoused,
No, everything. I mean, California on its own is a different,
different
type of people here.
Yeah. The fucking holidays is also a time of, giving. Fucking, there's a fucking food drive happening, right? That is, it happens in my building all the time. And I'm a little skeptical of charities and like
giving
drives.
or getting stuff.
No, giving. Oh, okay. Giving, like they have a food drive in the building, and I'm just always like, I would give you food, but I barely have enough food for myself. And it's like, I don't know, like, do you ever donate to those things?
No, and and I feel bad because.
Why?
One, I don't have to, so I get it. It's like, oh, why do you feel bad? You don't have to, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's stuff that I have that I'm just like, so I was looking for.
There was like canned food. It's like.
Yeah, but I was looking for like, I think my hiking shoes before I came here. So I was looking for them. I was like, I don't know where they are. And I literally have a bag full of shoes that I don't use anymore. And I was like, why don't I donate these? I was like, why? What am I? But then I put them away because I had to go. That's how it always ends. It's always ends like, I'll do it when I get back. Because I literally was like home for like less than 24 hours. So I was like, but then I'm like, I look at the clothes that I have and I was like, there's stuff that I've outgrown and stuff. And I'm like, why am I not giving this thing to like people that need it? That's why I feel bad. Because I was like, it's a difference between, like you said, like, I don't know if my next meal is guaranteed. So I want to, but
that's a good point.
That's a whole different, that's a whole different like scenario. But when you have enough, I think you should feel a certain way of like, oh, I'm not giving anything to anybody. I just have it.
Like I'd be down to give like everybody all the food they want, but like the food drive that only happens once a year in the building. Like I get it. You wanna do your part, leave a box of peas outside or whatever, canned peas, but. I feel like it doesn't go anywhere. Like I feel like all the food and stuff that fucking the restaurants throw away, you would think that there would be some level of like mitigation, where people are like, hey, we have all this leftover food. We should try to fucking, recycle it.
Oh, it's like those videos that you see of like the donuts that get tossed out.
Oh, yes.
Like all that stuff.
Those Dunkin' Donuts. I went to a Dunkin' Donuts once. Yeah. I asked the guy, I was like, hey, you guys have anything left? And they're like, he looks back. He looks over his shoulder, and I'm looking over his shoulder, and there's like no donuts. And he's like, nah, dog, we don't have anything left. I'm like, and I can see that they're throwing the donuts away. Right, I can see that because I got there like right before they closed. And I'm like kind of pissed off because I'm like, oh, you guys have donuts.
So you
right
went
there.
around the back and just waited?
No, I mean, yeah, she threw the bag out. And I was like, can I get the bag? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay. No, yeah, see, like food drives and stuff like that. I don't believe in them. I don't know. I don't see.
Because you don't see where it goes.
Because it doesn't seem real to me. It seems like a conspiracy theory. It's got to be some kind of like CIA program or some shit.
You think they're interested in peas?
Whatever the fuck they're doing, you know,
canned beans.
Food drives are some kind of scam, you know. Cause
no, I think they go. I mean, I remember at when we used to go to church, or when I used to go to church, as a kid, there was on Christmas, people had donated toys and like books and, you know, like gifts to the church. So it was like, I grew up poor. So that was like, I was like, oh, people actually do. And, you know, I left with like a toy or something, but obviously not the one I wanted, but it's still something, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, that's why to me, I was like, oh, it's like, it does make an impact. It's just, if you don't see it, then you can just be like, man, what am I giving this to? If I'm not seeing where it's going, I don't.
Yeah, because like I don't feel comfortable.
It's like taxes.
Yeah, true. You just don't see where they go. I feel sometimes a little bit uncomfortable about the idea that like if I decided to, let's say, give them a bunch of food and I don't see where it goes, I may feel a little bit like, oh, you know, I feel like I just gave them all this food when I wanted it to really go to somebody who might need it. And it's just one of those things. It's like I don't necessarily want to get credit for like, oh, hey, make sure they know that I am the one who gave them, you know, those cans of food. No, nothing like that.
Like engrave your name.
like hey, be grateful, fucks. You know, the fuck. You know, this is one time a year.
One time a year.
One time a year, because it's not every day that they're like, oh, let's just run a food drive.
Which they do.
They kind of do. They do.
Yeah.
No, they do. There's this church right here that I drive by all the time when I'm like on my way to work out. I see them all the time. They have like daily meals and stuff. It actually kind of warms my heart because it's like, damn, like I see like the same volunteers all the time. I'm like, that's what's up. You know, like that seems really nice. And it's not Christmas. It's not the holidays.
Just a regular Tuesday.
A regular Tuesday. And they're there. And so it makes me feel good that like it doesn't have to be a special occasion for them to be out there to want to be like, hey, let's feed these people. And it's not packed either. It's not like a line around the corner or something. No, it's like it seems like a modest amount of people who show up. And, you know, it's not embarrassing. It's not nothing like that, you know, because it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. And it's not like people aren't, what do you call it? It's like they aren't, it's not that they aren't ungrateful. Because I hate when people are like, oh, like, they've got time to go out and do this, then they have time to go and work or like have time to do this and that. It's like, no, come on, give them a break. Like they probably have enough money to like feed their kids, so they, without telling their kids, they go out and, you know, eat by themselves or something at a free what do they call them, meal like drives or whatever. That's what they're called, meal drives, right? Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean these food drive things, they just drive me nuts because I don't get it. Toy drives too. I'm like, you're just giving them to kids that are gonna die soon, like, you know. And then,
that's like saying the Make-A-Wish Foundation is a complete waste of time because they're gonna die.
You know, I wish there was ways to volunteer for Make-A-Wish.
Which is not, by the way.
No, it's not. Yeah. I wonder if like, is there like an age limit for Make-A-Wish? Because like if I'm on my deathbed,
well, I don't know, but it seems like the majority, the average. These lights keep turning on. Sorry.
No, I don't think.
It'll doesn't affect them. Don't do that. It just. Yeah. The average is always like, I don't know, from like it just seems like 10 years old to me is like, oh.
If you're dying at 10, you should make a wish.
No, I just think it's sadder the younger it is. In people's mind, I feel it is. Like, if I see somebody that's, you know, dying at fucking 60, I'm just like, Well, it's 60.
Well, okay, it's just like, you know, if you're like
You kind of have lived some of your life.
Well, but when you're like 10, you're a lot closer to death. I mean, to the time you were born than you were to the time you're gonna die. I'm trying to make I was trying to make an example. I was trying to say that, like, you know,
you just started.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you're closer. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're much.
It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the start line.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, start again. You know?
Yeah, they haven't done enough to be like
reincarnated.
That's why it's called. Oh, they were taken too soon because they haven't done enough. But if you're like, I don't know, even like, this may be bad, but even like 30, even in your mid 20s, I'd be like, they live some of their life. Like,
it would suck, to be honest.
You would just be starting, because if you think about like
really
school, like college and all that, you kind of like mid 20s is you're still trying to find your stride in whatever career field or whatever you're trying to get into. But
yeah, and then you go home to your family to the holidays, and then they ask you, oh, what are you up to? And then you're like, oh, I have an OnlyFans account and a Pornhub account, and you know,
thriving.
Because you get to work from home. Everything is done online. From home. You know, you don't need an HR department.
You do it at your pleasure.
Discretion. If I were to be more politically
depends
correct.
Too. Yeah, it's like you don't have to be giving a whole bunch of content or anything like that.
Yeah. I
bare minimum, and you still probably be making money.
I am very hopeful for the future, as much as the news
with OnlyFans or
that was in general, just saying, because like the holidays again, like they do make me feel good. I enjoy them a lot. I used to enjoy them a lot more, but now it's different because I'm self-aware of like what the holidays really are. Like Thanksgiving is this colonial holiday where we give thanks for, I don't know, and then Christmas is
it has a dark history too.
And then the idea that, like, I know we weren't going to talk about it today. I just wanted to bring up Santa Claus is apparently, you know, a folklore myth that comes from magic mushrooms. You know, the reindeer and all that stuff. The background is that, like, this mushroom, I forget the scientific name for it, but this mushroom, this red and white mushroom, evokes this idea that back then there was this guy in a fucking jolly coat of red and white and had a sleigh of reindeer. These reindeer also happened to eat this mushroom native to where, like, the story comes from about Santa Claus. And there are all these, like, tales of who Santa Claus is. But this one that I heard, right, regarding the psychedelic, story of Santa Claus, that it comes from this mushroom that, like, gave somebody the idea that, like, there's this guy who flies all over the world with reindeer and stuff. Like, it's apparently some psychedelic. It's a psychedelic story about, you know, fucking. I don't know the moral of the story, but it's apparently just like that's just where some people think it might have came from. Because I've heard other ones that, like, it comes from. Was it like Nordic folklore? Is some dude who was like a fucking. Like what was his name, Noah or some shit? I forget his, like, the name that they give him in the tale, like Noah or fucking Christ or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck his name is, but whatever the story is, that one is not the one I'm referring to when it comes to the psychedelic version of Santa Claus. I just thought it was something interesting to bring up because I was hoping I would remember it as I talked about it, because it kind of ties into kind of like what the holidays have kind of turned into, right? This giant, like, what is it, like a fucking corporate holiday? You know, from before it was just I don't know what it was before because I wasn't alive before. But now it's just people kind of consuming and hoping that, you know, for like the one time a year that everybody comes together. You know, I remember when it was like that for the 2 weeks that COVID hit. It was like Christmas. Everybody came together for like 2 weeks. And then after that, it was like regular season. It was open season all over again. You know? The holidays for me have just turned into something that I used to enjoy as a kid. But now I don't see it the same way I used to. Like the colors, the lights, the warmth, the hot chocolate, whatever people say. What do you think? Like, you think those things are like stereotypical of like the holidays?
Yeah, I think I'm the complete opposite. I like.
You
the
enjoy
holidays.
those things?
No, I like the holidays.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy the holidays.
What is it you like to enjoy the most about the holidays?
I don't know. Coming back home. I always enjoy coming back home. But there's a reason why I can, like, you can just be coming back. And
yeah, because you look forward to the holidays.
Yeah,
right?
so I always look forward to coming, home for a couple weeks. But also I like the time. Almost, it's weird. It's like there's things that remind you of, like, obviously, like, memories. So it's like I like being here. Like, even the weather is kind of like different. The lights, I like the lights. I like the when, like, the malls do all this stuff for it. I don't care much for the
yes,
like Santa fucking the trees.
See, and I did.
I don't care.
That's
much
why I don't
that.
Anymore.
But I think that's when you wrap yourself in just like that, and that's like that's not corny, but like if you look at the spirit of Christmas, not like the actual little material things, but like the actual, like, people coming together and, like, because it's one of those unless you live in a very happy home, it's just only one of those instances that it's like everything's good.
Yeah, that's
like you're happy, but then because the other fucking time it's like shit's stressed. People are trying to either at work or just thinking about life, and it's like it almost pauses during the holiday. That's
what you want to happen, right? You want it to feel that way, and that's why I kind of went on this long-winded idea that, like, it just for me, I probably sound like a regular ass poser for talking about it like that, because it's like everybody knows that Christmas is this facade now. It's a corporate holiday. We're not even beating around the bush about it anymore. People, like, the moment it's December 1st, or like the moment Thanksgiving hits, it's Christmas, right? It's like Christmas is something.
It was
Christmas.
They were putting lights up right after
9/11.
Halloween.
Uh-huh.
After Halloween, it was like we started seeing people put, like, lights up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, everybody knows what.
Like, everybody wants to hurry up and get there.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, when the pandemic hit and, like, people who couldn't work from home, like, they had to continue working. That's what it feels like for me every holiday season. It's like you want people to spend time with their families, but when you're out and about having a good time and you're, like, picking up groceries and all this stuff, I get this weird feeling that, like, everybody is, like, in such a rush to make this idea of having a perfect Christmas or holiday season. It makes me feel icky. It makes me feel like fake, because a lot of the, like, if you have good friends and good family, those things come naturally. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm forcing. Well, that makes me sound like I could care less.
No effort whatsoever.
Yeah, because I actually, like I said, I said I don't enjoy the holidays for the reason that, like, it's just not the same for me anymore. Like, the spirit of it. Because I feel fake if I try to get into it. I feel like I'm not doing. I feel like I'm only doing it because it's what you're supposed to feel like, because it's the season of.
The other thing is that you also think, like, oh, like, let's say putting up a tree, right? You're like, this is, like you said, this is fake. This is facade. Like, why are we doing this, right?
Yeah.
But when you start actually doing it, and then you see, like, the final or whatever, you kind of get into it. You're
exactly.
Like, oh yeah, put these ornaments up, and, like.
And it's probably my childhood trauma, because I did always get a tree every year, and I loved.
Fucking spoiled. I swear to God.
I know. I loved, putting the lights on, putting the ornaments on, but somewhere, it kind of tapered off, and it turned into like, oh, like, I can't wait for my gift this year. I lost that sense of like wholesomeness. Like, something in me died, and I'm like, I just want my gift already. Hurry the fuck up. Like, that's what I looked forward to for the holidays. So when I say I don't enjoy the holidays, it's not that I don't enjoy time and people. It's more of the idea that I feel like I've lost that spirit. And I say lost because, like, I'll probably find it again. Because, I do want to enjoy them, like, with a genuine spirit and look forward to them. Maybe that sounds a little like, maybe that sounds fake.
But it kind of switches when you get older, because even, like, we're not parents, but what I imagine
Right.
for parents, right, is like the thought that goes through your mind is like, I had this as a kid, and when you have kids, you're like, I want that for them now.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's different when you get
You
older. You're
live-
not really looking forward anymore to be like, the opening of presents means that it's kind of a different meaning, I think, because as a kid, you're opening the present to see what you got, right? But I think as an adult, especially when you have kids or you're just giving to people, it's more of them opening the gift and you hoping that they like what you got.
The act of giving is more.
I think it's more
satisfying. Yeah,
more satisfying. I think you seek it more as you get older instead of like, oh, what can I get? I mean, there's still people that don't get me wrong. There's still like a lot of adults that were like, oh, I just want gifts for myself. But like, I think as you get older, you kind of seek more of like, I want to get used to. I want to see your face or your reaction when you open.
When I give you this,
instead of your reaction when you open your gift.
And as an adult, receiving gifts is kind of fun.
It is.
Because you get adult gifts.
Yeah.
You know, you get adult gifts. You don't get something that you'll grow out of or you might not use.
You don't be like, play with the box.
Yeah, play with the box. Yeah, it's not the same. Now you don't just get to play with the box. You get to fucking, go to the place that, whatever fucking thing I was going to try and say. But yeah, fucking opening gifts as an adult is fun. Because you're just like, oh, like, what am I going to get? Not as a kid, because you're kind of like, oh, I already know what I want. So if this ain't it, then I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry.
Like if this is not it, I'm gonna cry.
Because you had said earlier, that's what I find difficult when people ask me, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
It's that as a kid, I can give you a fucking list because I never got anything. Yeah. But as an adult who has a job, I'm like, I can just buy whatever I want. I don't be even waiting until like, people are like, oh, I'll treat myself on this day. I'd be like, if I want it, I'm buying it right now. I don't have to wait.
When I was working full time, I had an epiphany. I'm like people. It's probably just a poor mentality at the time when I wasn't just thinking about it too much because I wasn't going out or like really just spending any money on anything. I would think to myself, I'm like, oh, I want that. I'm like, oh, I should probably wait, a couple months and then and then get it. And then you're right. Sometimes it was just kind of like, oh, I want this. I'm like, I'm gonna just go get it.
Yeah,
and that's kind of nice. As an adult, you're not asking for permission. You're not doing anything to like, to hint at someone else to say, hey, can you get it for me? Yeah. It's more like, damn, I want this. I'm gonna go get it. That's nice. And to talk about it like that really goes to show you like, how self-aware we are of like when we used to. Well, when as a much younger child we would receive gifts and it was great, and then now it's like, oh, I want this. You just go and get it, I mean, not everybody has that privilege of just like, I want this Apple Watch. Let me go grab this Apple Watch. I wanted an Apple Watch, which
is exactly what I did last year. I was like, I want one.
But I don't use Apple for not for any specific reason, but I just don't enjoy their products anymore. Except their Apple Watch. The Apple Watch, I gotta say, is a nice. Oh, and the AirPods, such a beautiful piece of technology. Like I think AirPods have become a meme. It's like you can just give anybody AirPods. Like it's like a common gift, because they're actually, in my opinion, the best, true wireless earbuds. Well, they don't go into your ear. They're like they hang on.
They're like okay. That's why I didn't like them.
But they really are like air, because damn, you just put them in and you're just kind of like, wow, they just work. Wow. Thank God. Like fuck, like it's just. I don't know. I remember when they first came out with the true wireless, with no cords. I was like, this is incredible. Like, you just put them on and you don't have any wires. Like, but come on, like, you can't beat that. And then now, like, there's no headphone jack. Apparently Gen Z wants to go back to the headphone jack. They want to start wearing wired
but
headphones.
That's because of the. I mean, everything is coming back.
Everything is coming back.
I know.
It's so annoying. It's a circle.
We can't come up with new things that we have to steal from
the older boomers.
Yeah, fanny packs. Obviously, that's why I had an issue with them. Is because it's not that I don't like fanny packs. It's the fact that it was back in like I don't know.
We grew up during that time.
Of wearing them, and it's like now it's cool again to wear fanny packs.
Yeah,
it's like
there was like a moment in time
that a while ago. Yeah,
we were like, oh, that is kind of gay, bro. Like, why are you wearing
Okay, that's what, not the gay part. The part of like, I forgot who I was talking to. I was like, because anime is in right now, right?
Oh yeah, it's caught in. It's caught.
And I was like,
it's caught on. Yeah.
It's so crazy because the things that we would get bullied for growing up is fucking cool now.
Mainstream.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you would need to hide that you were into anime or anything
or
like
like
that.
into Harry Potter or Twilight.
Yeah, you'd be like,
shit.
oh, I don't know about that.
Vampires, that's gay, bro. Like,
yeah.
the fuck?
And now it's like so, like, if you're not doing that, then what's wrong
or
with
if
you?
like you're not watching Marvel movies, people look at you like you don't watch Marvel. Like,
I do be looking at people like that though.
I do,
but that's because I watch.
Because Nick is like, oh, I fucking hate Marvel movies, bro. Like, I don't fucking give a fuck about them. I'm like, bro, like you're clearly the meds aren't
I'd be
working.
trying to explain things to people, and I'm like,
you just wouldn't get it.
Yeah, because I'd be like, oh, you know, like in Infinity War, this happened or whatever. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, see, it's so hard. Because the metaphor I use all the time is like for finding peace is like, the peace that I want in my life is when Thanos like snaps and then he's just at the farm. I was like, yeah, he's just like, and he looks on. I was like, that's the peace right there. That's peace that I want. But it's crazy because people that haven't watched it, you know what I'm saying?
I did put somebody on that. I did watch both movies. Oh no, not both. I saw one of them at the time. I don't think the other one had already come out. I could be wrong. Regardless, yeah, it's like, see, people who don't watch Marvel movies, there's something wrong with them. Because then people will say, oh, the people who watch Marvel movies are just a bunch of fucking zombies who don't give a fuck about, who don't know what a good movie is.
Yeah, because sometimes, and the other thing is too, is like, for people that actually watch them and actually like enjoy movies, you also get, we don't always just say whatever Marvel movie they throw at us is good. Like,
that's true.
I just watched The Eternals. To be honest, I didn't think the story flew like it.
We could close it off. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I didn't. I know you guys mentioned it.
I saw it.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that good though. I honestly thought it wasn't. And what really upset me that I didn't like it as much was because of the cast. They had a good cast, and it just seemed like the story was told so. Like, it was kind of like
it was an origin story. Yes, it was an origin.
It was a little bit because there's so many of them. I think it would probably be better to actually have done a series.
Yeah. That's good. HBO series.
Because if you would have done Disney Plus.
I say HBO because like Game of Thrones type of thing.
Because you could have literally have done an episode for every Eternal if you wanted to get into their background and then bring it in for the last. So you could have done like a 13 episode series of the Eternal, and it would have became a little better because you're rushing through the origin of each one.
Yeah, well, they technically all have the same origin, as they talk about it.
When they disbanded and how they all went
on their the time between they separated
that
to present day.
You want to know what, because that was drives, gives people the motives for certain things.
Yeah, I will piggyback off what you said and say I gave it a 5 out of 10. And on my scale, that's an average. Because I'll be honest, I went in there with the lowest of expectations. Because I am a big fan of this franchise. I've been keeping up with it since day one, way before I even realized they were gonna do a cinematic universe.
I know, honestly, yeah.
I did as this is the kind of brand recognition that you build with a society of people. Like a good example is Pokemon. Literally, I said that, and all of you thought of one of 4 Pokemon, right? Pikachu, Squirtle, Charizard, or Bulbasaur, right?
I thought when you said Pokemon, the lights turned off. As soon as you said Pokemon, boom.
Yeah, there's even been studies that that Pokemon being one of for most of that generation who grew up early to late 90s until now, they have like a psychological brand in the back of their head, like they can identify Pokemon by like little things. It's insane, like how our brain remembers things. And with the Marvel movies, like I came into Eternals, thinking, it's a 10 character movie, so I can expect there to be like a lot of exposition, and there was. I mean, I gotta give credit to the director for, in my opinion, doing a good enough job, because I'm not a professional, but a good enough job to actually introduce all 10 characters and at the very least give them enough screen time for us to be like, oh, okay, I get your motivations. Like sometimes you've got an ensemble movie, like the one that keeps getting compared to is Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? The idea that like it's a group of superheroes who have to come together to save the world from ending. We have established 10 years of Marvel movies, and that's what actually that's something I didn't say in my review. You would think that this would not be a miss, right? But clearly they can still miss because 10 years of like lore, and then they do one giant 10 character movie that was directed by a woman, Academy Award winning, because all these things that they checked off the list, and it still was mediocre. It wasn't bad in my opinion.
It wasn't bad.
I thought it was just mediocre. I was like, damn, like, yo, like, because how do you handle a movie with 10 people in it? 10 people, 10 characters, 10 superheroes. Like, the fight scenes were cool. The Icarus, beaming people with his laser vision and shit, that shit was sick. It was like the best Superman kind of combat. Kind of sucks to say, but I mean, it was pretty good. It was really good combat, really, really good action scenes. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on it from the Eternals. Like, I wish it was more than that. I wanted like some spoiler substance.
Yeah, I wanted some juicy stuff.
Some juice. They introduced Blade at the end.
Oh, off screen.
Marshala Ali off screen has been introduced.
I'm actually very excited for the ones that are coming up. I'm excited about Blade. Yeah,
they got delayed a couple months, so we'll not be getting a main movie every 5 or 4.5. But oh my God, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Very excited about that.
I fucking hate the fact that I love keeping up with movies like this, that I kind of basically know the whole movie. Obviously, I haven't seen it, but when you're such a fan and you just kind of like know, I don't know. I just like nobody saw the Thor Captain America thing coming in the movies, right? When Avengers Endgame,
when he grabbed the
Thor, Mjolnir, and he was like, I said Thor, right? When he grabbed
you
Thor.
said grab Thor.
When he grabs Mjolnir, the hammer. And everybody in the theater just fucking erupts,
Yeah, but for some that know it, it's like you were just waiting. You just didn't know when it was going to happen.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, because in the comics he does it. So it's like, but you don't know when, because obviously,
bro,
the comic version of Infinity Wars didn't mirror what's on screen. But it's one of those things where you're like, it was, even though I don't like Captain America. That scene,
Chris
I was like,
Evans. Yeah, that shit gives me chills thinking about it, because he picks it. He didn't just pick it up. He calls it over.
Yeah,
he calls that bitch over.
He fucks Thanos up.
Yeah, bro. And
for that little bit of time.
It makes you think like, yo, if it wasn't for the hammer, Captain America would have gotten his ass stomped in.
That and Thor would have died. That dude was on the verge of death.
Thor would have died, and Iron Man would have fucking.
He was gone.
Oh yeah, he was knocked out.
He was knocked.
Yeah, he wouldn't have woken up till they revived him.
Yeah.
Dude, these Marvel movies just like I love it.
That's what we're thankful for.
10 years of Marvel movies.
That's what we're thankful for.
I really hope they need to just hand out copies of Infinity War and Endgame to the homeless people. Honestly, they need to do that. They need to, like, a food drive. Come on, show them this movie. Like, they're gonna see.
You were just joking about yesterday that I did agree with Thanos. When I come to California, I was like, half of these people can go.
I'll know.
Do it randomly. I'm not saying.
Yeah, at random, fair. Rich and poor alike, as he says. Yeah, I love that, dude. Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Do you have any final thoughts before we close off?
No.
We will be back again. I'm gonna take a small break. If anybody made it this far, I'm gonna take a small break. But there will be episodes coming out. Like they say in those Marvel movies, Rick will be back.
Yeah. Let's put that in the outro.
Rick will be back in the future movie. Yeah. So we're just gonna wrap it up here. I'm happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good holidays.
Safe,
enjoy yourself.
Please be safe. Don't get run over.
Yeah. Don't
get run over. Or don't run anyone over.
No. Yeah. Just stay inside. Stay with your family. Enjoy this little.
Argue with your family about Rittenhouse.
Yeah. Talk about them.
Talk about. Tell them you're not vaxxed, even though you are. Just to see what they'd say.
Get the counterfeits.
Oh, right. Get a
counterfeits.
counterfeit or fuck with them. Tell them that this is never gonna end. Tell them that you're just gonna have to keep getting one shot after another.
Low-key, that's what's we're gonna do it next time.
No, but they're gonna do that. That's what
they're
doing.
gonna do
We're
that.
getting there. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Okay, peace.